Good morning, Eastwood kids. How are you doing today? I'm good. Thank you for asking. As you can see, I'm wearing my friend Cow hat today. I'm not reading a cow story, but I wanted to talk to you about something. A couple of weeks ago, we read a story with Cow, where Cow went for a ride on a tractor, and it didn't go well. Cow had broken one of the farmer's rules. And Cow said in the story she should have listened to God's rules and farmer's rules even when she didn't understand them. But she didn't really talk a lot about some of God's rules. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some of God's rules this week. Now, God gave his people 10 big rules. Let's take a quick look at those rules, okay? These rules we call the 10 Commandments. Now, the first commandment, the first of God's big rules, is there are no other gods but God. There's no other gods. We might watch movies and cartoons that talk about other gods, but those are just pretend. God is the only God. We're not to pretend like there are other gods as if they're real. It's only pretend. The second thing is that we're not supposed to worship anything except God. We're not to make statues and worship them. We're not supposed to worship our TV set. We're not supposed to worship food. The only thing we're supposed to worship is God. The third one is we're supposed to respect and honor God's name. Now that means a lot of things. It means that we don't say God's name without actually meaning to talk about God. But it also means that we don't do things and try and blame it on God. We are to honor God in how we talk about him and how we use his name. The fourth one says we're supposed to rest and honor God one day a week. We get 6 whole days to work and do all kinds of stuff, but we should take one day to rest. We're also supposed to respect our moms and dads. Right? That's the 5th rule. And what does it mean to respect your mom and dad? Well, it means to listen to them. It means to care for them. It means to love them, even when sometimes they make mistakes because, well, they're only human just like us, and we make mistakes all the time. The next rule we're supposed to follow, if we look up here, is not to hurt other people. We're not even supposed to think about hurting them. We're not supposed to hurt them with our words. We're not supposed to hurt them with our fists. We're supposed to love them. We're also supposed to keep our promises. That's the 7th rule. Always keep your promises. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. We're also not supposed to steal. That's number 8. Don't take things from other people. Don't take things that aren't yours. And if you're not sure, it's always best to ask permission. We're also supposed to not tell lies, to be honest with each other. You know what I mean when I say that. If your mom and dad say, "Hey, did you get into the cookie jar?" You say, "Yes," if you got into the cookie jar. You don't try and blame it on your little brother even though he bugs you. And lastly, we're not supposed to be jealous of other people and their stuff. The Bible uses the word covet for that, but it's to look at their stuff and want it so bad that you think about it a lot. Well, that's not healthy. It just makes you grumpy. 4 of our rules over on that side are things that God wants us to do for God's sake. They're about loving God. And the closer rules, those are about loving other people. Jesus was once asked, "Rabbi, what's the most important commandment?" And he said, the most important commandment is to love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. But he said the second most important is like it, and it's to love others just like you love yourself. Now you notice Jesus didn't give one of these 10. What Jesus did was he summarized these, love God, and these, love each other. It's easier to remember those 2 things rather than all the rules like Cow had to. So as you go about things this week, remember, love God and love each other. My friends, I love you, and I hope you have a really great week, okay? Bye-bye. Bye, cow says. Wiggle, eagle, wiggle. Pick a little nose. Take care. Bye-bye.